Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mark Graham and welcome to my Handstands Masterclass on Facebook Live today. So before we get started, I just want to say that I apologise I wasn't able to run my Handstand Masterclass last Tuesday. Unfortunately, I was a little bit unwell, but here I am, good to go. So this Masterclass, we won't actually be doing any inversions going upside down today because we're not at a studio like Naka, we can't guarantee your safety. So think of this session as a hints and tricks video of how to improve your handstands. When I meet a lot of people on their handstand journey, they often don't know a lot of these things, but they're actually really, really important. As a circus performer, I'm a hand balancer, and some of these things I'll be talking about today really are just massive components, massive parts of handstands. And yeah, I want to make sure everyone knows about them so everyone can love and enjoy handstands as much as I do. So today we'll do a quick stretch and then we'll get straight into it. Today won't be too intense. This will be more about building up that knowledge, some deeper learning for everyone. So let's get started standing up. We're just going to tilt our head to one side, just a couple of rolls, opening up that neck. And we'll look up and down, and left and right. Great, we're going to do 10 shoulder circles backwards. So pulling those shoulders up and rotating backwards, unlocking, relieving any pressure built up to the ribs and the shoulders. And we'll do a tricep stretch. So one arm goes across and you can lock it. For an extra stretch, pull that arm up. And we'll go the other side, so we'll cross one arm over and lock it. Pull it up for an extra stretch. And we'll do some spaghetti, so interlace your fingers, get some spaghetti hands going. So some meatballs and some cheese. And we'll just do a nice star shape, switch over to one side, over to the other. Nice deep groin stretch. So with this groin stretch, get your elbows pushing down to the legs and slight pulling out of the knees. You don't want to be collapsing your knees, you want them to be pulling out. And we'll sit on our bottoms. We'll do a glute stretch across, one leg over, foot just goes past the knee, push the knee out. I'll move so you can see a different angle of this stretch. There we go. We'll do the other side, cross that leg over, push that knee out. Nice quick stretch today. And then sitting on your bottom, legs out straight. Let's point those toes, arms up in the air, stretching forward through plank, hands hitting the feet or the ankles. Try and keep your back straight. You don't want to be curving back like this. You want to keep it pushing forward, tummy to quads. Relaxing the head down if you want to. From here, left hand goes down, stretching out your side in a siren stretch or mer person stretch. And then other side as well. Great, and let's just go downwards dog, bend and straighten the legs, maybe lift one leg up in the air, give it a couple of pulses. Splendid, that was very fast, hope you guys can keep up. That's really the amount of warm-up we're going to need for today's class. First up, we're going to talk about positioning for the handstand. So with handstands, it really is all about alignment. And sounds a bit silly, but I think of it as energy. You want to have the energy flowing through your entire body, make sure everything's connected and supported, otherwise you do risk injury, especially of the spine, which isn't great. So we'll get started first with the first thing I do with anyone is we just get our shoulder position down properly. So with your shoulders, we're going to start in cat shape. So 2 fists together and place them between your knees. This is how far apart I want your knees to be. From here, walk those hands out. Let's go into a nice cat shape. So in the handstand position, you always want to have, actually I might move across a bit, a straight line from your hand up to your shoulders. If you're pushing back through here, you're using what we call the heel of the palm. And if you're too far forwards, you're going to be exerting your deltoids way too much. So you want to try and make sure you have a nice straight line from your shoulders to your hands. Okay, so this is step number 1 is shoulder position. Yeah, you always build a handstand from the grounds up. You're a tree and you want to make sure that your roots are nice and stable before you do anything else. So this is lesson number 1, is just to get that nice alignment through those shoulders. Great. So that's step number 1. Up next, we're going to talk about overall body alignment. So when you see people do handstands, sometimes you might see someone with a really arched back, or you might see someone who's completely straight. The arched back position, if you're learning contortion handstands, isn't so bad, but for adults, you want to be trying to keep a nice straight handstand. So when I start teaching people, the straight handstand position is what I start with first. So everyone's standing up. When you're doing a straight handstand, you don't want to just be sticking everything out and just loosey-goosey. You want to think about core. So those of you who join me for my TA lesson, you'll have heard all this before. Your TA is the inner muscles that run nice and deep through your abdomen. You want to activate them. To activate them, you pull your belly in and up. I also want you to grab your hips and pull them under. This strange tilted feeling is what I always aim to hit in a handstand, to make sure that my spine is nice and straight, okay? So I'm pulling my tummy and I've got my tummy engaged. I'm also using body tension. Now, body tension is all about squeezing your legs together, pulling your tummy in, squeezing your butt cheeks, squeezing your upper tummy, and you're also squeezing with your arms up next to your ears. So give that a go. So standing up, squeeze everything, squeeze those legs, squeeze those glutes, pull that tummy in, arms up next to the ears, and a slight tilt of the chin, to look up between your hands. So this is our handstand position, nice and straight. Actually hitting this position in real life is quite tricky. It will take you quite a bit of training, but that's our ultimate goal. So to develop this shape, there's a very, very simple drill. We actually do it laying flat. So from laying flat, everyone can just relax for a moment and just watch me. You're going to squeeze your feet together. You're going to think about pulling your tummy in, squeezing your bottom and lifting up a little bit so your hand can come all the way through like this. So you should be quite rotated to those hips. You don't want to have your bottom sticking up. You want to have your bottom tucking under. From here, your arms next to your ears, and in front, your forehead touches the ground and you look slightly up through your eyebrows, and I want you to flex your hands for me. This is our handstand position on the ground. Just be nice and straight. Yeah? When I teach a normal class, I actually have people do that position and I'll have them hold it for 30 seconds at a time. It's really quite intense. We'll just do one together and I'll talk you through it. So, squeeze those legs together, squeeze the glutes, rotate the bum under, arms up in front, lift the head, flex the hands for 30 seconds. So remember, it's all about pulling that tummy and squeezing the entire body. If you relax, remember to re-engage, slight tilt of the head. You don't want to be craning your neck up here in a handstand, that will ruin your alignment. Keep your head down nice and low, looking up where the floor will be for your handstand. And relax. That's just one exercise that you guys can be practicing while you're at home to just help develop your core strength, number 1, as well as your positioning. Let's talk about the head very quickly. In a handstand, I actually might do a handstand for you. Look at the positioning of my neck.
See how my neck is jutting out? It's hard for me to speak. That's way too much. Your head wants to be between your arms and slightly tilted up so you're looking at the ground. So essentially, I'm here in this position, not pulling out.
If you feel your airways blocked off in the handstand, that can be an issue too. So it's just a slight tilt of the chin. It allows you to breathe smoothly, through the nose and out the mouth. When I'm in my handstand, I choose a spot on the floor and I stare at it. It really helps with your balance, as a lot of you might know, to just stare at one single spot. And so now we know that we need to have everything rotated under, pull that tummy in, chin slightly tilted up, looking through the eyebrows almost. Up next, the biggest secret to a handstand. I'm just going to move my laptop so we can see each other properly. So, the hands of the handstands. These are the most important thing. A lot of people think that with a handstand, your fingers are just flat here. Your fingers never actually want to be flat in a handstand. You always want to be pulling them inwards. So I'll just do it on one hand. With your handstand, your hands aren't flat. You're actually pressing the digits, the end digits of your fingers into the floor and pulling up, almost making a spider shape with your hands, okay? So see how I've got pressure going through my fingernails, and I have a nice high mountain with the knuckle closest to my hand on all my fingers. Now, my pinky is straight. That's for me, it doesn't bend that much, so I actually don't use it very often, but those of you who can get your pinky activated, that'd be great. Your thumb, you're actually pressing the outside of your thumb into the ground as well, and you're pushing up. And remember, in your handstand, you have a straight arm from your hand to your shoulder. So, let's jump back into our cat position, because we really need to nail these fingers. So from our cat position, our arms are shoulder width apart, just like this. And you want to think about pulling those fingers up and engaging. In this position, you want to make sure you don't have much weight on the outside of your hand. The weight wants to be between your index finger and your thumb. And you're pinching with your index finger and your thumb to help you balance the most. If you're not engaging through here, you actually start using the radius bone on the outside of your arm, which is the weaker bone in your forearm. You want to use the ulnar. So that's why you're pushing up and onto your thumb and index finger. Okay? So remember, with the handstand, you need to have a nice straight body that's all connected, as well as your roots engaged, your fingers engaged, pulling into the floor. And next week we'll be doing some conditioning to really drive that lesson home. Great, that's really, really important, keeping those fingers engaged. Let me just reset my laptop. Put my charger in. Okie dokie. Alright, so now we've talked about body positioning and using our fingers as well. Let me just double check my lesson plan. Sorry, there's a lot of handstand knowledge running around in my head. Oh, great. So, those of you who are handstanding by yourselves at home, if you often see in the photos or any videos that you do of yourself that you have a curved spine, let me just show you a curved spine really quickly in a handstand. Here, like that. You need to think about your body tension. So often when you have a curved spine in your handstands, you're not rotating your pelvis under. If you have trouble figuring that out when you're in a handstand, what you can actually do is think about squeezing your glutes more. By squeezing your glutes, it's much easier to activate that nice rotation through the hips. Also, if you find that your shoulders don't feel like they're flexible enough for a handstand, there's a really simple stretch that will help open up your shoulders quite quickly. All you need to do is have a chair, bench, or a table. Feet shoulder width apart, arms out in front, onto the bench. Walk back a bit, a straight line over the bum to the feet, and just pulsing here in this hand, in this shape, will help open up your shoulders as well. Great. Up next, crew, we're going to talk about actually entering a handstand. I'm going to give you a drill that I always get all my kids to do because it's really great for alignment and strength. Starting out with lunges. Now, my students, you know I love lunges. They're really important that you do them right. So first up, a lunge that we show you is just a single step forward, front legs bent, back legs straight. A lot of people though, when they start doing lunges, they'll actually do a lunge where they'll cross their legs over and then they might enter a cartwheel or a handstand. But as you can see from my body position, I'm no longer aligned. It's really important in a handstand and acrobatics in general that your body is in the correct alignment. So when you do your lunges as you enter a handstand, you want to make sure that your shoulders, hips, knees and toes are facing forward. Let's put our arms up in the air, lunging. One leg goes straight out in front. So see how I'm not moving that knee side to side now. I'm able to keep my arms completely straight up in the air. There's a straight line from my hands to my shoulders to my hips. So we have our alignment from the very start of our handstand. Okay? Very interesting teaching a handstand masterclass without actually doing the handstand. But this is really great to really refine each individual little aspect and hopefully get some more knowledge out there. So with your lunges, I recommend that you really practice getting them perfect, and also it'll help strengthen your glutes so when you're in the handstand you're stronger too. So with those lunges, I'll just do it from another angle. If you're lunging, making sure that front leg goes out in front, arms next to the ears. Now, as you go into a handstand, especially when you're in class, you'll go through a lunge. You want to think about as your arms go down, your back leg comes up in opposition. You're like a seesaw. As one side goes up, the other side comes down. Yeah? Hopefully you can see that nice opposition line going through my body. So a drill that I often do with a lot of participants is we start in our rocket shape, our handstand shape, pulling our tummy in, arms next to the ears, lunging forward, arms go down, back leg goes up, and then I snap my arms up and leg in to finish that movement. And that just gets that seesaw into your body. Let's do a few together. We'll do 2 on each side. We'll start with our right leg. Arms up in the air, pull that tummy in, lunging forward, arms go down, back leg comes up, and snap it up. If you feel that you're coming up, one leg down, both arms up. Think about, this helps me a lot, bring your arms up first. We'll swap over to our left, we'll do our right one more time, sorry. So think about, as you come down, you're snapping your arms up and then leg in. It's a bit of a mental trick. You're still working opposition, but helps get your arms up. Let's do 2 on our left really quickly. Both arms up in the air, pull that tummy in, lunging forward, coming down, snapping up. Take a step back and we'll do it again. Arms up, lunging forward, pushing down, snapping back up. Cool. Let's see. So they're really the kind of little bits of knowledge that get lost when people are learning their handstands. So body positioning, fingers, lunging in opposition with your arms and legs. Let me just double check my lesson plan. Sorry, team. Still a bit frazzled from being a bit unwell. Cool. So to develop the handstands, especially when you're at home and you can't actually train, I don't recommend you train without a coach, number one. But if you're doing conditioning at home, best things to do is to replicate the handstands one bit at a time. For those of you who are beginners, I recommend just holding the front support position. Think about all the things that we've discussed. So front support is the cat shape, with one leg out, another leg out comes to joint. Now the entire time I'm thinking about engaging my fingers. I need to rearrange that camera. So I'm engaging my fingers, I'm pulling them up, because I know if I do a hold for say 30 seconds, I want them engaged the whole time, because if I do a 30-second handstand, they'll have to be engaged. I'm also pulling my tummy in, slightly rotating my pelvis under, one leg behind, other leg comes up, and here I'm holding my handstand shape, developing the strength that I need without having to actually go up in a handstand. It's a lot safer, okay? That's essentially the hints and tricks I think a lot of people miss out on when they're training handstands or learning home by themselves. So hopefully those tricks and tips can help you. If you have any questions or you'd like some more basic handstand tricks, let me know and I can maybe do another video for you. Otherwise, next week, join me. We're going to do some conditioning based off those principles with our handstands. Hope you learned a lot today. It's a lot of information to process in a rather short amount of time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining and we'll see you next week.